All right, guys, here we are in period 4 with another general manager and operating partner best demonstrated practice video. This is where we bring our great general managers and operating partners from the Northwest Dallas division together, and we talk about best demonstrated practices, right? We want to know what's working out in the field, the things that our general managers that are doing. This is a tough job, right? If it was easy, everybody would do it. So it's real important that we share our ideas and share the things that we're doing. And I've got 3 amazing general managers and operating partners with us here today. It's only 3, and we have 5 pillars because one of them actually has led in 3 of the 5 pillars, which is really awesome. But just to ground everybody in what we're doing, we have 5 strategic pillars in the U.S. strategy in 2021. We want to really drive results in a fun and energizing place to work, great restaurant experiences, fast food done right, big in breakfast, and profit means growth. Those 5 pillars we think in 2021 are really going to drive our business and success. And then starting out here with big and I'm sorry, we're not going to start with big and breakfast. We're going to start with profit, right? Profit means growth. We've got Terry Nichols out in Independence, Missouri, store 2426. We've got his area coach, Eric Miller, is here, and also Mo. He's the director for Legacy Restaurant Group. They're all here to support Terry. Terry, man, it seems like you're always on this list, and when we do the top overall general manager, you're either number 1 or number 2 consistently for the past 6 months. So why don't you come forward, unmute, tell us a little bit first about what you're doing with this profit means growth. I mean, we've got almost a 10% mobile sales, 29.8% customer transaction growth, and then same restaurant sales growth of over 40%. I mean, this is pretty incredible what you're doing out there in Independence, Missouri. So go ahead and come forward and let us know some of the things that are working for you out there.
Thanks, Mike. I start by really engaging my team and letting them know about how we're doing in every category in the restaurant, and engaging them and looking for ideas and stuff. When I first started with 291, we were doing about 18 to 22,000 a week, and it took us all to really make some changes from doing cleanliness, customer satisfaction, everything, and then us being consistent doing it, and me talking to my team consistently, we were able just to move it really quickly up to where we are now. We did get a little facelift in the dining room, so that helped a lot too. And I really believe that my team has a lot to do with it as well, because they're very competitive in nature. So we're really kicking in all cylinders as far as speed, voice of customers as well. So our guests are wanting to come back time and time again.
Now, how do you drive the team? You know, so you said there's a little facelift, but what I'm hearing from you is that first you had to get in there, you had to clean it up, you had to set the culture right in the restaurant. But then now you've got this team of people that it seems like every day we've got to get in and motivate them somehow. How do you get them going, right, to drive these results you're seeing?
Well, 2 things. I sit down with my team at least once a month, and I sit down with my management team at least once a week on a one-on-one basis and talk to them. And I let them know about the results of the store and all that. The second piece is every shift, whether I'm there or not, I expect us to have some sort of team huddle. We have a little competition as well. And I also let them know who number 2, number 3, number 1 maybe be at that time, and we go after them. And
nice.
So like Christina, or Michelle, we go after them. We would be going after them all the time. Dennis, he's not there today, but we go after him quite a bit too. We have fun doing it too, and we just try to keep having fun doing that all the time. And that's it. That's pretty much it. It's that simple.
Yeah, competitive nature, keeping it fun, energizing, something new every day, an intentional effort. Mo and Eric, you guys are here to support Terry today. Why don't you guys go ahead and come forward, unmute, and let us know some of the things you're seeing out of Terry that could really help us drive results in other restaurants.
Alrighty, Mike, thanks. I'll go first. I think I'll piggyback on what Terry says. I think the team does a great job with the competitiveness. I think it starts with their shift managers all the way up to the GMs, and then the crew kind of gets into a little bit of a competitive between register, front register, back window. So I think that always helps them help drive the business, obviously, because it's a fun environment. But I will say some of the things that they've done very well since I've taken over with them in January is that two big things, right? They continue to drive morning business with the mobile sales. I think that's key. They continue to creep up in sales in the early morning, and they continue to drive mobile through the afternoon and into the evening. But I think one of the biggest things that's made Terry continue to be at the top of their rankings that you continue to talk about each and every month is when I first took him over, they had 5 people during peak shifts. The other day, he just ran 9.
Yeah.
So having everybody in their own slot and in their own position. I'm not trying to say that we should ever get away from cross training, but when everybody can stay mobile in one spot, that's what's driving his business. They went from 5 to 6 to 7 to 8. And again, we have some trainees and stuff out there at this time as well, but they had 10 people on a lunch shift running 9 positions. And I think that's really what is growing and making his business profitable. And I think he continues to take that chance by adding one more person here in the morning, adding one more person in lunch, and doing the same thing at night. I think it's phenomenal. I think that's one of the biggest reasons why he's driving business.
Yeah, no, that sounds great. The foundation that you build in cleanliness and organization, and then building that up to training, proper training, and then engaging in these systems. It sounds like Terry's doing a great job of engaging in the DOP and the shift ready checklist, and then there's different systems that we have. Mo, I see you on there. I don't know if you've got some amazing things to say about Terry, but we don't want his head to get too big, right? But he's doing some great things out there. What have you been seeing out there?
Yeah, Terry mentioned it early. It's all about people, but consistency also, right? We consistently builds confidence and trust. When delivered day in, day out, every day part, every day, a great experience, every guest, we are going to build the traffic. And Terry has done a fantastic job on that. And moreover, Terry believes in his people. He is a team coach. He's a team cheerleader. And his people really rally behind him. And I want to congratulate him on this call because he developed Melika, his assistant manager, to get promoted effective this coming Monday to an operating partner for another restaurant.
That is awesome. That's actually the best thing you can do, Terry. I mean, seriously, developing people and developing general managers, that's amazing, man. That's good. I'm glad you mentioned that, Mo.
Mike, I have been sort of waiting to say that and congratulate this man because this is all about people business, and growing your people is the biggest accomplishment any of us could make.
Yeah, and don't discount it. Never discount it. Developing other people sharpens your tool, right? It sharpens your sword, right? It keeps you on your toes. It drives your business. So train the trainer, developing other people. It's all very, very important stuff. So congratulations, Terry. Great job. Like I said, you are the past 6 months, you've been right there, 1, 2, or 3 in the top every single time. So appreciate you coming on and sharing some things. Mo, why don't you stay up here? Eric, let's go ahead and move to Shandy and Michelle. So Shandy and Michelle can come forward. Here's the thing about Michelle. Michelle is leading in 3 of our pillars out of 125 restaurants, and that's not an easy thing to do, but she's leading in a fun and energizing place to work with extensive training. We learn training and friendliness and health and safety scores in a restaurant, great restaurant experiences, OSAT gap and speed of service, fast food done right, with taste and French fry taste and accuracy. These are all the things that we track in these pillars, and Michelle is leading in all three of them. So Michelle, I've got to know, and everybody else watching this, how are you leading 125 restaurants in three pillars of our strategic plan?
It starts with a great crew, and I have one. But I think that we are the captain of our ships. We create our culture, we make our environment, and I make mine exciting and positive and uplifting and a place that doesn't suck. You know, people don't because it suck. And so, you know, I think that helps you also create kind of bonds with your people, you know, and I think you have to do that in order to earn the respect that it takes to be their leader and for them to run your restaurant in your absence. And I really think that it just starts with us and the way that we lead by example. And and happy people make people happy.
Yep, and you know, something you said earlier that caught my mind, but when we were talking earlier, was you create this environment, right, where it's happy and it's energizing, and obviously you're leading in the fun and energizing pillar. But you mentioned how you create that, but you also said something important. You said, and I expect it out of other people, right? Because culture is a mixture of two things, and I've said this before. It's a mixture of the things that we protect and we value, right? So you protect and you value this fun and energizing place to work, but a culture is two things you protect and value, but also the things that you allow. And what I hear when you say that's what I expect out of other people is that you're also not allowing that negativity to come in to the restaurant. And I think that that's what's helping you as well. Do you think that that's true?
Absolutely. Just a couple of days ago, I had an employee with a bad attitude. I asked him, he responded negatively, and I said, you know what? You can go ahead and clock out and go home.
And you know, that's a tough decision to make sometimes, right? Sometimes we're shorthanded, but culture is a mix of two things, the things you protect and the things you allow. And I think that goes a long way to how you're able to drive results, because you can't drive results if you don't have the people doing the right things at the right time. So that's all really good. Shandy is here, your area coach. She's here to support you as well. And Mo, obviously, you guys are all with the Legacy Restaurant Group, and you're in Topeka, Kansas. But Shandy, talk to us a little bit about Michelle.
So Michelle is new to Legacy. She's one of our newer operating partners. And just a week ago, I got her under me. So I haven't had a lot of time with Michelle, but just in this last week with her, I really think she's like going to be a force to be reckoned with. She wants to be number one. She doesn't want to be last place. Dennis, one of our other operating partners, trained her, and Dennis and Terry is always fighting for the number one spot in Legacy. And she's like, watch out, like, give me a couple more weeks to get in my groove and I'm going to be number one and they're going to be behind me. So, you know, she's really positive. She really pushes her crew. You know, you go in there and she's never like, oh, I'm just so tired today. She always has energy. She's always like walking around, coaching people, talking to them. So she's just all around been really great. And like I said, I think she'll be a force to be reckoned with here soon. So, you know, she'll definitely be number one.
It's an important thing to call out, and I love the drive. That's amazing, and I'm going to hold you to that, Michelle. I want you number one, right? But an important thing to call out is that she shows up with great attitude and those kind of things. And I'm a human. I don't always feel like showing up with a great attitude, right? It's not always just your personality, but it also is the intentional effort in saying, you know what, I got to put my game face on. I'm going into work, and I know that fun and energizing drive results. So I'm going to have that attitude. Mo, I know that that's something that's really close, near and dear to your heart. Is this culture of a fun and energizing place to work? But what are your thoughts on Michelle here as we recognize her leading in three strategic pillars?
Yes, Michelle did an exceptional job during her training. She was so engaged, very intelligent, easy to pick up on our standards, to the point that every time I showed up there to follow up on her training weekly, Dennis, the training manager, and his team would ask me if Michelle is an undercover boss. because she was picking up so quickly. And they were convinced that she was a mole we planted there. So and it's because she's super engaged. She's great with her people. She is very high on standards, tough on standards, soft on people. She's a great coach. She rallies her people behind her rather than dragging them along. So this is all about energizing and engaging the team around you. And in short period of time, she's done that at the downtown location. And, she's been only there for a short period of time, but I know she will make significant impact. She loves training and she wants to be a certified training operating partner. And I know she will get there.
I love that. I love that as a goal, and that's it. That's awesome. I said in my area coach district manager video that leadership is never about your title. It's never about your position. It's about your actions and what you do, right? And it sounds like when you show up to work, you do things to make people notice. So that's really good. Michelle, thank you so much for all you're doing out there, and congratulations on leading in 3 categories. Legacy Restaurant Group, you guys are up to some really awesome things. I'm sure we're going to see you on this call here in the future as well. Now, Holly out in Western Kansas and Christina coming up forward. I know that you guys are really doing some great things out in Western Kansas with Windspoke Wind Plains. And that's where we're going to go out to Scott City, Kansas, where we've got Christina Garcia. We've got Manny. Manny's with Christina. He's the area coach for that area, multi-unit manager. And then Holly, if you guys want to come forward, Christina, you're leading in Big and Breakfast with some incredible breakfast sales. But the great thing about recognizing you today is that when you take all 5 of the strategic pillars and you put them together, you're actually leading all of them. So that is a pretty big feat. Like I said before, Terry has done that before, but you top the list, completely top the list. And why don't you go ahead and come forward and let us know how you're doing that out in Scott City.
Well, I super love my job. It's one thing to have a job, it's another to have a job you love. And when you walk in the door, no matter how exhausted you are, it puts a smile on your face. The people you work with, they're family. And to me, this is home. This is family. I love all of them just as much as I love my own family at home. And they know that, they feel that. And I respect them. They respect me. It's super important to know where to put your people, positional planning, doing the flow charts, knowing how and where to put the people in the right places. And if you're doing that, they're happy because they're happy at what they're doing. If you're putting people in the wrong places, you know you're going to get a bad outcome. It's just knowing your people, knowing your floor, knowing your customers, knowing what time your customers are coming. I have one customer that comes literally 3 times a day. 3 times a day. We know him by name. We know what he's going to order. And as soon as we see his vehicle pull around, it's already ready and out that window. It's just, and happy to see him all 3 times a day. It's just loving what we do and getting rid of the bad, bringing in the new. I have got so many new hires. I've got so many old faces, people who have been here 10 years plus. It's just knowing that you can mesh with every one of them. And I do. I love this store. I know every inch of it. I am on that floor with them. I think it's super important for me to be down in the dirty with my people. And like I tell my managers all the time, if I'm willing to do it, I need you to be willing to do it with me. Mm-hmm. I don't ignore their request off. They know if they need time off, they know if they need a vacation, or if I see they're too tired, I worry about them and I make sure that they get what they need. In turn, they make sure I get what I need. And it's just super important to know your store. Putting what I've learned from my market manager, from my district manager, from my previous GM, just putting everything they've taught me, everything they're teaching me now into place every day. Doing things by policy. I mean, people can't really question something if you're literally doing it the way policy tells you to do it.
Yeah.
So to me, it's super important. If I have an employee come and ask me, how do you want this done? Well, how does policy want you to do it? That is,
we got systems, right? Systems tell you exactly how to do it.
yeah, watching the WeLearns I think is super important. Before I even put them on the floor, they need to watch the WeLearns of the position they're about to go into. Just knowing as much as they can know, and always having a smile on your face. I do not walk into my store without, and I'm probably going to sound really loud right now, but I will walk into my store and literally go, "Hey, Juliana," and I mean as loud as I can, or giving people hugs. It's just that exciting, and I love it. I love every bit of it. But when it comes to big and breakfast, I just know as a mom, okay, when I used to get my kids breakfast before school, that push, like, we are trying to get to work, we are trying to get our kids off to school, we are there, we have to be rush ready at 7 o'clock in the morning. You know how hard that is sometimes? It is super hard to be rush ready at 7 o'clock in the morning because you know everyone just woke up. But my people are rush ready at 7 o'clock in the morning. And we know when those busy hours are going to be. We know from 7 to 8, we are going to be nonstop. We know from 9 to 10, we are going to be nonstop. And I am not in my office at that point doing my paperwork. Sorry, Holly. I am on the floor between 7 and 8 and 9 to 10 because I think it's super important that people are getting to work on time, because then they're going to go and they're going to be like, hey, I know I can get my breakfast and get to work on time. And they are going to come back the very next day and the very next day. It's pushing and overselling, upselling. I mean, when I first started working here, we were not selling the Frosty Chinos very much at all. Now we are going through them like crazy.
Yeah.
It's upselling like crazy and pushing the orange juices, asking if they want a medium or a large. I'm a morning person, but you will still see me come in at 8, 9 o'clock at night if I need to, and still have that super energetic happiness on my face. But when it comes to mornings, I love my mornings.
Well, it sounds like you've got a lot of Frosty Chinos going around the crew in the morning, right? That's all really great stuff. I feel your energy. It's obvious why you're leading 125 restaurants. Now, you mentioned your market manager, Manny. Manny's there to support you. You've got Holly here. But Manny, I don't know if you can manage the mutes and the unmutes and come off there and let us hear you if you got some words to say about your great manager there.
No, I mean, overall, I'm like once they told me to help Christina out over here in Scott City, I was like, who's Christina? And then I was like, yeah, sure, let that go. I'll go help her out. Let that. Holly was really busy, but after coming over here and seeing that the motivation that she puts into her employees, to her managers, I was just like, whoa, where did this girl come from? Honestly, where did she come from? But after all, she's turned out to be something different, really something different. I have really never really met a GM like her before that. She pushes herself to the limit. And it is true what she said earlier about, she sees them as family. Yes. I mean, working for Wendy's like that, I go, all these years I've been working for like that, I always see them as family, but I never mentioned it to her. And all of it for her to bring it out that she sees them as family. I mean, that speaks a lot from her.
Yeah. It probably speaks a lot to the results that she's getting. Now, Manny, you're down in Liberal, Kansas, and you're watching a few restaurants for us. And Holly, you've been out there in Western Kansas, and you guys, one thing that you guys do for sure is you are breakfast leaders. You guys are just doing a great job with breakfast. But tell us a little bit about, we've got Manny here and Christina. Tell us a little bit about your team out there on that Colorado Oklahoma border.
I tell you, it's a long ways out there, but we've carried breakfast for many years, so it's just one of those things we've really focused on. We've never looked at it as a downfall to labor or what can we do. It starts our day. So we're really kickstarting it and having great managers like Christina and like Manny to really drive that. I mean, that's what we need. We can preach it all day long, but we need the right people in the right place to take that and really run with it. Christina has been a GM since January, so she is new to this, and she's like a sponge, just soaking up all the information she can, and then she's turning around and teaching all of her crew, promoting managers, trying to give everybody else the knowledge that she has to inspire them to be even better in her store, right? So she really goes into the, if you want a great experience for your customers, you really have to create a great experience for your crew. So it's very based in that. And I think our Western Kansas team, honestly, our team in Kansas in general, just kind of really, that's the goal. No matter what's going on, we really are trying to focus on, this experience for our crew and our staff. And what can we do? How much can we teach you? Knowledge is power, and that's what we want it to be. So, we have I can only imagine where Christina's going to go from here. Probably won't be too long. We'll have her out here market managing and district managing and, moving people up. It's all about trying to, give people knowledge and keep pushing their potentials.
Yeah, an opportunity. Now, Christina, no pressure, but now that you've got to keep this up, right? Now, I know that you're new, January, but the trends, if you look at Scott City since you took over, are just like that. So you've definitely made an impact. Why don't we get everybody back on screen here? And thank you, Christina, for everything you're doing out there in Scott City. Congratulations on leading 125 restaurants in the Northwest Dallas division. Great job, great effort. Michelle, great job. Terry, as usual, you got to keep that up out there too, Terry. But I just want to thank all of you guys, especially during Restaurant Appreciation Week. We really appreciate you guys. Thank you all for being on this call, and hopefully we'll see a lot more in the future. I have a feeling that we're going to see a lot of Shandy and Michelle and Christina. Manny, you thought you could hide out in Liberal, man, but we're going to see a lot more of you. You guys are doing a great job. Eric, Mo, Holly, appreciate you guys coming on in support as well. So thank you guys for your time, and we'll see you soon.
Congratulations, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Congrats.